Hello everybody, welcome to episode number 17 of No Whining. I am so glad to have you with me here today. Let's get into our first wine right away. This is a 2018 Meursault. This is about a $65 bottle of wine, thereabouts. The producer on this is Jean-Philippe Fichet. The grape variety, of course, is Chardonnay. The region is, of course, Meursault, in the larger Côte de Beaune, within the larger Côte d'Or, in the larger region of Burgundy, France. Fun fact, did you know that the French wine system is almost just as complex as the US tax code? It's basically like, the one thing that actually makes a lot of sense that they started with, but then built another thing on top of it that makes some sense, with another thing stacked on top of that and so forth, until it becomes so bogged down in complexity that none of it makes any sense and is rendered utterly unhelpful, unless you have a PhD in French wines. Now, in theory, the purpose of the French wine system is ostensibly to help protect consumers so they know what they're purchasing, right? Especially in terms of quality. In practice, it's so damn complicated that a vast majority of consumers, especially all of those who reside outside of France's borders, throw up their hands in frustration, right? They end up taking just a wild stab with their best and mostly random guess, which means in the end, they actually have no idea what they're purchasing other than it's wine. And so the system itself defeats the entire purpose of the system in the first place. Consumers in all their confusion typically wind up accidentally picking a bottle of exactly what they don't want, a low quality wine, often a variety labeled IGP from Pays because it's the only labeling that's actually intelligible. Okay, there we go. End of fun fact / rant. Okay, here we go. I believe this next bit of information is from the tech sheet. I found it on the Virgin Wines website. It said, this lovely Meursault is a blend of 5 parcels that all bring their individual character to the finished wine. One plot has southeast exposure, is on stony soil located on hard rock subsoil, and produces intensely mineral wines. A second is located on shallow marl, produces delicate and elegant wines. A third has beautiful sloping, moderately deep land, producing long and rich wines. The fourth and fifth are on very rich soil and produce generous, slightly buttery wines. All this combined delivers a wine packed with character, dry, buttery, and rounded, but with a streak of freshness running through its heart. Now, doesn't that sound magnificent? Well, we are about to find out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's all pour ourselves a glass. Alrighty then, I'm going to call this a medium gold in color. Shall we try it on the schnoz and see how it does? The first things that I'm picking up with this, it's coming out with like cream and dough and butter notes. Those are actually very, very prominent so far. Let's check back in with the schnoz and see if she can find anything else. A little bit of citrus with like lemon. There's also some apple, some apricot in here. Very nice on the nose. Let's give it a try on the jaws and see how it does there. That has some body to it. I would say medium plus on this wine in terms of body. And again, citrus and butter notes are coming through on that still. I would say like medium in terms of acidity, medium in terms of alcohol. It's definitely a dry wine. On the schnoz, and then it's backed up by the jaws for sure, this like inviting kind of creamy body with lovely but subtle citrus and stone fruit. And then it kind of moves into this long, buttery finish. This is a really, really, really excellent wine. After all that ranting I did earlier about France, but it is a great wine. It is $65, however, right? So like very premium price point. Not stratospheric, but definitely not the most budget-friendly wine that you could find on the market. But it is really just such an exquisite example of what can be done with a Chardonnay with a white Burgundy. It is really, really a delightful wine. I love this. Let's go into wine number 2. This is a 2017 Maquis Lien. This is around a $20 to $25 bottle of wine. Now, you may be wondering, if you paid so much money, $20 to $25, and there's no wine in that bottle. Well, here's the deal. I don't know if you can see right there, but there's a little piece of the cork, okay? So this bottle and I have some history already, because when I went to take the cork out, and this was not operator error in this case. This was actually, I did a good job, but the bottom portion of the cork decided it was not coming with the rest of the cork, completely broke off from the top half, and then it would not cooperate to come out this direction. So I eventually had to, unfortunately, push a portion of it down into the bottle. Then I had to take this bottle of wine, pour it into a separate container that I then dragged up all the flippin' crumbs of cork out of the wine itself, and then re-pour that wine into a new bottle through a funnel that doesn't have a piece of the cork still stuck in it. So when you see me pouring this wine, I'm going to be pouring it out of this bottle, which is, this is actually, we had tasted this a while back, Paso das Brujas. This was a lovely Albarino from Rías Baixas in Spain, but this is actually the red wine today. So anyway, wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory on how this all went down. On with the show. Going back to giving France a bunch of crap, this $20 to $25 bottle of wine, a similar blend, red blend in Bordeaux, would likely go for like 2 to 3 times the price, right? So definitely a better price point on something like this. However, the cork broke off. So like, I'm wondering a little bit. Typically Chile, it's a region I really, really like. You can get some amazing quality wines for really, really great prices, but we shall have to see how this actually delivers. The producer on this is Viña Maquis. The grape varieties are 49% Cabernet Sauvignon, 40% Cabernet Franc, and 11% Carmenère. And the region is Colchagua in Chile. Here's some information from the tech sheet. Viña Maquis is located in the heart of the Colchagua Valley between the Tinguiririca. Did you get that? The Tinguiririca River and the Chimbarongo Creek. Okay, I'm glad we got that out of the way. Both waterways act as pathways for cool coastal breezes that moderate the warm summers and have a dramatic effect on lowering the maximum temperatures by a couple of degrees. This area, with deep alluvial soils and a 2-meter layer of highly concentrated clay set over a deeper layer of gravel brought by the rivers, provide natural drainage that allows the grapes to lose the green characteristics very early in the season. The waterways also help moderate extreme weather conditions throughout the year by protecting the vineyards from spring frosts and lowering the maximum summer temperatures. These features are distinctive of Viña Maquis and uncommon in the rest of Colchagua Valley. The season of 2017 was a drier and warmer than usual, which allowed us to make an earlier harvest of the grapes, maintaining all the natural freshness characteristic of our vineyards. The wines obtained have a delicate balance between a good aromatic intensity, freshness, concentration, and elegance. Some information on the harvest and winemaking itself. These are 100% hand-picked grapes and sorting of clusters. Cold maceration at 48 degrees for 5 days. Fermentation temperatures between 72 to 77 in stainless steel tanks. Total maceration time of 21 days, including cold soak and alcoholic fermentation. Malolactic fermentation in stainless steel tanks. 100% of the wine was aged for 18 months in French oak barrels. All right, enough with that. On with the show. Let's go. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have a deep purple color with a ruby rim. Let us, pretty decent viscosity on this, so I'm guessing there's a decent amount of alcohol. Doesn't look like a ton, maybe like 14.5%, I would guess. But let's try it on the schnoz and see what happens there. First things that are coming out to me, like these are oak characteristics, right? Like vanilla, there's some cedar in here, some chocolate. Let's dive back in and get into a little bit of the fruit profile. Again, this is nice on the nose. Black currant, there's like black cherry, some black plum in here. I feel like there's a little bit more, so I'm gonna dive in for round 3. I'm getting cola from this, for sure, some cola, even a little bit of smoke. Let's try it on the jaws and see how it does there. Yeah, black currant, cedar, vanilla is coming through with this. This is a dry wine, I would say full body. It's medium, probably plus in terms of alcohol, medium plus in terms of acidity. I'm curious what the alcohol is actually, because okay, so I said 14.5, it's 14%. It's got a nice full body with like medium, I would say tannins, but they're nice and plush. It's a nice flavor mix as well of like oak, and then you've got the dark fruit in there with the smoke and the cola notes. It's got a long finish as well. I'm getting a little bit of like hints of a vegetal note and a vegetal finish actually, which is quite interesting. So I like this wine a lot. I like this wine very much. I would definitely recommend this wine. For 20-25 bucks, the quality here is really, really nice. There's a fair amount of complexity here, really good intensity. Overall, I would say really well balanced. And this is a great value, especially if your cork doesn't break off in the bottle like mine did. But still, even with all that having happened, I would do it again in a heartbeat. Like, this is a really nice wine. So let's pull both these bad boys in and decide which one we like the best. I wonder which one you like the best. I will tell you that I really like episodes like this where the choice isn't super obvious and easy, because these are both really nice wines. Sometimes you get one wine that's amazing and the other one's a total dud. That's not the case here. They're both really, really nice. Overall, I am going to go with the Chardonnay. This is, like I said, such a magnificent representation, an example of what this varietal can bring to the table, especially when the winemaking is on point, when all the pieces are working together, where you've got great balance of all the components within a wine. This is really, 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 it was an expensive wine for sure. It's 65 or so on the price point, maybe even a little bit north of there. But do I think it was worth it? Absolutely. So I am thrilled with this episode and with both these wines, but particularly this one. And I'm excited about episode 18 because that will complete our third list of wines, our third wine list. We will bring it to a close and we will pick winners, our top white wine and our top red wine from the last 6 episodes and the last 12 wines overall. I can't wait to see you guys in the next one, and until then, cheers.